So today we're diving into one of history's absolute greatest enigmas, the Count of Saint Germain. This guy was a courtier, a mystic, an alchemist, and, if you believe the stories, an immortal who's been walking the earth for centuries. So, who was the real man behind this incredible legend?
To try and get our heads around this mystery, we're going to follow the path of a lone scholar, deep inside some vast ancient library. His whole quest is to piece together the truth of a man who seems to be way more myth than reality. So this isn't just a history lesson, it's an investigation.
Okay, so our scholar's first job is to sift through centuries of rumors and supposed eyewitness accounts. But as he gets started, he finds out pretty fast that the line between the man and the legend, well, it's basically impossible to find.
The investigation begins, and get this, not with a book, but with this old, weathered scroll. It's like a map, but not of a place. It's a map of a life, charting the appearances of a man who seems to exist completely outside of time.
As the scroll unrolls, it reveals all these documented sightings of the Count. And this, right here, is where the mystery really kicks off.
Let's just look at this timeline for a second. In 1710, he shows up in Venice, looking like he's about 45. Decades go by, he's spotted in London, and then he becomes the talk of the entire French court at Versailles in 1758. And here's the kicker. Eyewitnesses all say the same thing. He looks exactly the same. The man just doesn't seem to age.
And that leads us right to the absolute central question of this whole investigation. I mean, this isn't just a little unusual. It completely defies our basic understanding of biology and time. How on earth is this possible?
So, faced with this complete impossibility, our scholar unrolls a second scroll. This one doesn't track time, it tracks identity. It explores all the competing theories about who the Count of Saint Germain really was.
And this table just brilliantly lays out the problem. Was he mortal? You know, the son of a prince just trying to find his lost fortune? Or was he something mythic, an ascended master who had literally conquered death itself? Or was he just a really, really good con artist? Each theory gives him a different mask, but they're all for the same mysterious face.
The scholar realizes the Count's genius was in what he didn't say. He never confirmed or denied a single rumor, just let them all multiply and create this kind of shield of mystery around him. By being everyone, he was effectively no one, and that made him completely untouchable.
Let's shift our focus for a moment to what is maybe the most compelling evidence for how extraordinary this guy was. The absolutely stunning consistency in how people described him, often decades apart. I mean, even the famous adventurer Casanova was struck by him. Years after they first met, Casanova wrote that the Count's very distinct dark hair and piercing eyes remained unchanged. This wasn't just a passing glance, it was a specific, baffling observation. And Casanova wasn't some outlier. Madame d'Athamar, who was a confidant of Marie Antoinette, wrote that she met him decades apart, and he looked exactly as he had before. You have multiple, credible witnesses, separated by years, all telling the exact same impossible story. You just can't deny the pattern.
Okay, this is where the story just defies all logic. Official records say the Count died way back in 1784. But then we get to this year, 1835. More than half a century after his supposed death, multiple people report seeing him at a funeral in Paris. And what did they say he looked like? Remarkably youthful. It's a sighting that seems to just break the laws of existence itself. So, what was his secret? How did he do it? Well, one of the most stubborn legends centers on a very peculiar habit. Specifically, what he didn't do when he sat down for dinner. This one strange habit became the whole cornerstone for the legend of the elixir of life. You know, the idea of a substance that grants eternal youth is this ancient alchemical dream. And Saint Germain, well, he appeared to be its living, breathing proof. And here's the key detail that fueled it all. Despite attending countless lavish dinners and parties, nobody ever saw him eat. Not once. He would hold his hosts captivated for hours with these incredible stories, but he would never, ever touch a single bite of food. This really puts it into perspective. On one side, you've got the total gluttony and indulgence of the European courts. And on the other, you have the Count's disciplined self-denial. To the people watching, this wasn't just some weird diet, it was proof that he had somehow mastered his own biology. So, As our scholar digs deeper and deeper, he starts to realize he might be asking the wrong question. Maybe the real mystery isn't who the Count was, but why his story still has such a powerful grip on all of our imaginations.
And here it is. This is the core of the legend. Real alchemy wasn't about turning lead into gold. It was about spiritual transformation. The Count's life is like a parable for that whole process. He represents that deep human desire we all have to go beyond our own limitations.
So the scholar's final conclusion is that you can't really separate the man from the myth. The truth isn't one or the other. It's this incredible blend of what actually happened and what we all need to believe is possible.
So why do we still remember this guy? Because he embodies this idea that there's more to our world than what we can see and measure. He's a symbol of hope, a big question mark hanging over the finality of life. He's the eternal traveler, just walking forever through the hallways of our own curiosity.
In the end, our scholar closes his books. The mystery is still unsolved, but now it's understood. The power of the Count of Saint-Germain isn't in the facts of his life, but in the enduring questions that his legend still inspires in all of us.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If he was just a brilliant fraud, a little trick of history, why does his story still resonate so deeply with us? If the Count is just a myth, why do we, even today, still seem to need him?